In the 1600s, London was one of the largest cities in the world. Its population had reached nearly 500,000, and the city was shaped by trade, river traffic, and constant activity along the Thames. It was a dense, fast-growing, and ever-evolving metropolis. In this video, we're bringing historic paintings and characters back to life using modern AI tools. That means we can show scenes in more detail, change angles, and see London in ways that people back then could never have imagined. Let's start with the Old London Bridge. Before I started researching it, I barely knew anything about it, but what I learned was truly surprising. In the 1600s, London Bridge wasn't just a river crossing. It was an active place stretching over the Thames, lined with houses, shops, warehouses, and even small chapels. From a distance, it didn't look like a bridge at all. It looked more like a little city built over the water. The bridge was built on stone arches that restricted the river's flow, making it almost impossible to pass by boat. The buildings on the bridge were several stories high, many jutting out over the roadway. People lived above the constant movement of horses, carts, and pedestrians. Fire was always a danger, and the crowds were unavoidable. Yet people lived and worked here for centuries. The bridge wasn't just a trade route. It was a visible symbol of London's power and authority. Underneath, the Thames served as the city's main highway. Barges, cargo ships, trading vessels, and smaller boats carried grain, timber, coal, and cloth, connecting London to the English interior and Europe. In short, the bridge was where local life met global trade. During cold winters, the narrow arches sometimes caused the Thames to freeze. In those rare moments, people could walk on the ice and even gather there. Normally dangerous, the river briefly became a social space. Crossing this bridge wasn't just about getting from north to south, it was about experiencing London itself. Kings and slaves, traders and workers, everyone passed through here. Until the 18th century, it was the only permanent crossing over the central Thames. Now, let's take a look at Buckingham House. Long before it became Buckingham Palace, it was a private residence on the western edge of the city. At the time, it was surrounded by fields and gardens, marking the boundary between urban London and the countryside. In 1666, London experienced one of the worst fires in its history. A small fire spread quickly, almost destroying the entire city. London turned into a ring of fire. On the left, you can see London Bridge. On the right, the Tower of London. And in the center, the old St. Paul's Cathedral. The fire wiped out centuries of crowded buildings and forced the city to rebuild from scratch. Along the Thames in the 1600s, the Tower of London stood as the center of royal authority. It wasn't just a prison, it was a fortress, a treasury, and a place where important government documents were kept. Cheapside Street in 1638 was like a stage for royal processions. People, soldiers, and officials gathered on the street, watching the displays amid political and religious tensions. Today, the same street still exists as modern Cheapside, though the old buildings are gone. In 1647, let's look at Westminster. On the left is the old Palace of Westminster, the seat of Parliament and political authority. On the right, Westminster Abbey, the heart of the nation. The steps along the Thames welcomed travelers and arrivals. Back then, the river was the main road. Whitehall Palace in 1643 was the largest and most magnificent royal residence in England. Kings arrived by private boats, and the palace sat right on the river. Sadly, most of it was destroyed by fire at the end of the 17th century, and today only the banqueting house survives. Richmond Palace outside central London was another important royal residence. Rebuilt by Henry VIII, it offered a glimpse of England's elegance and majesty. Elizabeth I spent her final days here, and in 1603 the Tudor dynasty came to an end. Looking back at all of this, it's hard not to feel how close the past really is. These streets, buildings, and events shaped the world we live in today. And thanks to these reconstructions, we can catch even a tiny glimpse of what life was like back then. If you'd like to see another country, city, or historic scene brought to life, leave a comment below. We can continue this journey into the past together. Thanks again.